I'd like to call to order the Board of Aviation Commissioners monthly meeting, January 9th, 2020. Members present, myself, Kirk Hunter, Greg Clune, Jeff Bartlett, and T.Y. Okerson. Also present, Jessica Ward, our airport manager, and Paul Schaefer with BFNS. We also want to welcome Mayor Perry, and we congratulate you on your election.
Thank you.
Yes. We hope your administration is successful and productive as ever. And we also hope that the great value that we believe is present in the continued development of this airport becomes apparent, and we get the support. And
You have my support.
well, thank you. We do appreciate that. I also like to note that, not to diminish the importance of the function of the board, but our professionals, Jessica Ward and Paul Schaefer and the team that he presides over at BFNS, they provide the heavy lifting here, and without their administrative and engineering support, we quite frankly be dead in the water. So, does anyone else have anything to add?
That's great.
Okay, good.
Nice.
All right, Jessica, let's see. Reading of the minutes. Anybody? Everybody read the minutes?
Yeah, yes.
We'll
accept the minutes as they are.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, election of officers.
I'd like to make a motion that we maintain the same officers that we had last year.
I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I demand a recap.
Let's just recap. So you're the president, and then
Vice President.
vice president.
Secretary is Jeff,
Okay.
and treasurer is T.Y.
Treasurer. Okay. All right.
Okay. Great. And, okay, then financials, Jessica, if you please.
Yeah. All right. So our beginning balances for 2020 have been recorded on the report, and a few of our starting balances increased from last year, which are listed as well. And we can talk through those. There's just the minutes, and then after that is the report I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
After the minutes.
Okay.
And is that it? It looks like it. Yep, that's the one. Yes. Okay. So I actually added in there, you see like the budget increase line. I added that so you guys could see where we were from 2019 to 2020. So all of our beginning balances are listed. Our current balances, if you look at our decrease line, we had salaries, overtime, FICA, PERF, health insurance come out. The only claims that we paid were water, sewer, and contractual services was our waste management. In January, if you guys remember, we only pay those types of bills. We don't pay anything else in January. So at the bottom, I talked about budget increases. So salaries, FICA, PERF, we had a 1% raise, so that's what those went up. Overtime, our previous budgeted balance hasn't been enough to cover overtime in the last 3 years, so that increased $1,350. For sick pay, longevity, and vacation, the 1% raise and just length of time employed for certain employees went up, so that's why those also increased, $70, $450, and $975. Then we have repair and maintenance supplies for our building. Obviously, cost of maintenance increases with age of building, cost of materials increases. We also bought the new hangar, and we're gonna install the new pole barn this year, so we went up $2,500 there. Our small tools went up $250 for a backpack loader purchase. And travel went up $600 just because board member increases with board members going to training, and also for our annual AI conference, that increased as well. And this year, they haven't decided exactly where the conference is going to be in October yet. We haven't heard, but it's been in Michigan City the last couple of years, so we didn't have any like hotel stays or anything because we all just stayed at our houses and stuff. But they talked about maybe like Evansville or kind of like further south, so that would be a hotel stay too. So that increased $600. And equipment repair, we were running on that budget that we had for years before we got those 4 additional pieces of heavy equipment, and we got our new New Holland. So That went up $3,000 for those. So aviation fuel is still at $240,000, same as it was. Airport projects is $246,000, and those are specifically lined out. I didn't actually write those on here, I probably should have, but it's for the pole maintenance building. We also have, what else is in there? I think there's something for BF&S and legal for the appraisals and stuff, for land acquisition, and there's a couple other line items in there. Our grant is in there, our local match for that's in there.
And what remains unencumbered of that 246 then?
When we find out how much we get our grant, we'll know exactly how much goes towards that. But all the 246,000, everything has a dollar amount to it. Like there's an item that goes with a dollar amount. Okay. In the previous years, we had 150,000, and it was just whatever capital items we had, all came out of that. But this year we did it differently because we upped it from 150 to 246, so we have specific items in there that we're going to purchase. Okay.
Fuel sales?
Sure. Overall, we sold 1,087.9 gallons of 100 low lead, 260 gallons of Jet A, and 210.2 gallons of Swift fuel in December. As you can see, we were up 10% 100 low lead. Jet A was down 74%. The UL 94 was up 506% over December of 2018. For our cost of fuel, our self-service 100 low lead is $4.30 a gallon. Full service 100 low lead is $4.40 per gallon. Our Jet A is $3.30 a gallon for both self and full service, and our self-service UL 94 is $4.43 per gallon. We have not changed our fuel prices, and neither has LaPorte, Valpo, or Knox in the last month.
Okay.
So all that stays the same.
I see that LaPorte has increased their UL All right.
Excuse me, Jessica. Do you think the viability of this UL 94 is still there, even with this incredibly high increase? I mean, we're paying, what, $350 a month for the rent of the fuel bladder?
Actually, we're going to be done paying that off April 15th. That's going to be our last payment. So we paid on it for 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's going to be done then. So we'll own that tank outright, so we won't have that payment anymore.
That's good.
And we actually do need to order Swift fuel, and I put it in order. But I let them know that if it increases from $3.90, which is what we paid last time, remember they wanted to take it up to like $4.85 on me. I'm like, we cannot. We're not going to buy it for $4.85. So I told them if they can't keep it at $3.90 where it is now, not even to bother. So we'll see what they come back with. I'm hoping they're going to keep it around that price.
Why do they justify the increase?
They justify the increase because they said that, it costs more to make it because they're making more now. I mean, they're shipping it all the way up to California, more places are using it. And then I kind of discussed with them about, how come we don't have as much, like they're not marketing it well enough for, like the first year. They marketed it really well, and I feel like it's kind of like a lull now. And so we discussed that a little bit, and he said that since more airports are actually using UL 94 and they sell it, it gives more opportunity for people to go other places, so they're not going to the airports that they have been. But I talked to Diane at LaPorte, and I don't think they're going to continue with Swift. So I think when they're done with their tank, as far as I've heard, they're not gonna carry it
Are
anymore.
they leasing one like we have?
No, they're not. They have their tank.
So
Because they had MoGas in it before.
I think following that, I would argue that we keep the Swift, right? And, we're right on the lake. We have folks during Oshkosh coming from Canada.
Yep.
They like that, service. And we have people coming out of Ohio passing through here, so they like that. And I think it's just common sense to keep it, since we're going to be done paying for the tank itself. So.
Yeah.
And if you look to, we sold 1,584.9 gallons this year. Last year we sold 2,730. Our tank is 1,000 gallons.
Yeah.
So we sold a tank and a half, this past year. The last time we ordered, remember we had to get those totes, those big totes? They hold, I think, 350 gallons each. So we got 3 of those, and then we just filled the tank ourselves. And they're supposed to have the length of fuel that we can keep it is supposed to be the same as avgas. So I mean, it's not like it's going to go bad sitting there if we, we have a whole year or more, to sell it, so.
Do we have to test it too?
Yes, well, they do a lot of testing. We do like API gravity and things like that here.
Well, like TY says, I hope we can keep it, but if they raise it to $5 a
I
gallon.
think it's, the discussion is gonna be based on the increase. If they increase the price and we cannot sustain that, then we let go. But right now, it looks like a good deal, and it would be stupid for us not to keep that. So I would recommend we hold on to it.
I feel like if we can make any money on it at all, because it's more like for a convenience for pilots too, we want them to come here for it instead of anywhere else.
Right.
So it's nice to have that extra traffic. And as long as we're making anything on it, even if it's 12 cents a gallon, I think it's worth it. To not lose money on it, I think it's worth it to keep it.
Yeah, with the tank being ours in April too.
Correct.
This is our third year into the Swift fuel, so let's see what happens this year, in my opinion. We'll kind of, and then weigh it as we move forward.
Okay. Airport manager, hangar 852 update.
Yes. So the city IT finished running the fiber cable down for Wi-Fi. We're just waiting on installation and the heater to be installed. Contracts are signed, so we're just waiting on getting on the schedule. So that should be coming up soon.
Nice.
Our tractor electrical issue.
Hey, can I stop you there just a second? For the mayor's edification, do you know about the hangar that we purchased?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And the reason why we purchased it.
Yeah.
So those are.
So every time the hangars are all privately owned. So anytime somebody wants to sell a hangar to another individual, it has to come before the board first for a right of first refusal. So when it comes to us, the board gets to buy it at the same price and the same terms as what they're selling it to somebody else. So this last hangar that came up here for sale, the board exercised their right to purchase it, and we purchased the hangar because we were talking with the previous mayor, Ron Meir, and we had things going we wanted to put together a program to build an aircraft with high school kids as like an after-school project. So we were talking about that, and Johnny Stimley was a big part of that, conversation and everything as well. So we actually had it set up to where it would be an independent contractor that would actually run the program. And it would be like 3 days a week, and they would build an aircraft, a Zenith aircraft, a cruiser that TY actually here has built 2 Zenith aircrafts, and they're like kits. They come as a kit, and then they'll put it together. And so there was a lot of interest and a lot of excitement for that project, and then it kind of just got put on hold, like towards at the end of last year. But it wasn't put on hold yet, and so we purchased that hangar so we could use it as a classroom for any upcoming camps or things that we have for the youth in that build project especially. That's what we purchased it for. So we're hoping to be able to continue that and, get that back in the works, and we'll have discussions with you later about it and the
And
importance
the
of
hangar
it.
has functioned as you hoped it would?
Yes,
For
yep,
classes and things?
correct,
Great.
yeah. So we're just waiting to, be able to utilize it for that. So we have heat going to it and insulation, so it'll be a heated hangar that'll be able to be used in the winter. And until we use it for classrooms or any sort of camps or anything, we can use it for like airplanes that need transient parking, that want a heated hangar, things like that. So it's multi-use for the airport. But we really want to use it like as a classroom to get, some high school kids out here to start, utilizing it.
We want to encourage the STEM program. So the airport, somehow we've got to be doing things that, can support some of the schools here. And all of these discussions about STEM, getting our kids into science, technology, aviation, we could sit here and just not do anything as an airport. But so we thought this would be a really great opportunity to get these youngsters involved in actual hands-on programming that they could take and get to college or move on to the workforce. So, and that's, I think, one of the elements of the argument why we purchased that hangar. So it's sitting there and we're just waiting for.
And also in the private sector, the demand for professionals or up-and-coming professionals in any of the aviation services.
Pilots, maintenance, you name it.
It's incredibly high right now, and not to give our students in the city the opportunity to
It sounds to me like
get into
it's
that.
move. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see, where were we?
tractor electrical issue.
Oh, yeah.
So New Holland Maintenance came out to troubleshoot the electrical issue we were having with the tractor. The dash lights would stay on and the fuel pump would stay running even with it turned off. There was actually a relay under the seat. It wasn't even on the diagram that they had when they brought it out. So they tore the whole tractor apart, finally found the relay that they didn't even know was there, was bad. So then they sent us the new relay, Rudy put it in, and so now we're back in business, but we called New Holland. So,
Some people, their place like that, hide some stuff in there.
Right, little circuit breaker you're looking for.
That's annoying, right?
That's heavy to see.
So we're back up and running there. And I just have one last thing I want to talk about the high school drone camp. So Johnny Stimley and Carlton Bishop, Nancy Smith and I are having a meeting at the AK Smith Center with other community leaders on Monday to discuss the dates for the summer camps that are all planned in Michigan City. I know the police department does one and there's multiple other ones. We want to make sure that our high school drone camp is obviously not scheduled during somebody else's camp that we have planned here this summer. So Bill Nelson said that Brage, Nelson, and James would be happy to sponsor. Paul Schaefer said that BFNS would be happy to sponsor. And Johnny, Carlton, and I are going to be meeting with Horizon Bank for possible sponsorship there next Thursday. So we're hoping to raise $5,000. That would be enough money to, have the camp here and see how successful we are. And I mean, if we raise more than $5,000, we can offer more than 1 week. Not just 1 week, but multiple weeks. And so I have a call into the controller's office as well to find out who do they make the checks out to? Do we need a specific line item for the airport for donations for summer camps and high school?
When they sponsor, do they have like a little banner or what do they do?
Yeah.
Because I could start asking some of the businesses where I live if they would like to too, but I just want to make sure that I can tell them like this is what you get for it.
So what we're planning on doing is we're going to have t-shirts. All the kids will have t-shirts. And so their name will be on the back of the t-shirt. And then Carlton Bishop actually owns a marketing, I don't know the name of the marketing company, I think it's like Banana Consultants or something. But he owns a marketing firm here in Michigan City, so he's going to be doing all the marketing for it and like the banners and things like that. So we'll have banners, we're going to have advertisement out for it, and so their name, of course, would be on everything that we advertise. And
If we get the $5,000, how many students do you think you can?
I think we figured out, I actually wasn't at the last meeting when they talked about exactly how many students that should, I think it's gonna be like 25 students.
Do we have a drone for we have?
That would purchase the drone.
Okay, good.
Yep,
Good.
and then it would purchase like a specific laptop for it. It would also pay the FAA drone certified pilot to lead the class, which Carlton Bishop is also the
So I am
pilot.
one of those pilots.
Yep, great. So yeah, we're gonna utilize anybody out here that we can, that's interested in coming out and.
I'll bring my toy.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it'll be really great.
Drone races.
And we've already kind of talked to, so Nancy with the scholarship, Promise Scholarship, she actually goes to the high school a lot and talks to them about stuff, like the different counselors and stuff. And there's already a very big excitement about like a whole drone summer camp. Because kids are just interested in drones, they're cool, they're new, they're exciting, and there's so much that you can do with them. And I mean, there's multiple colleges now that are literally offering degrees in drones now.
Well, I see Michigan City, I believe, that New Buffalo, they've got those classes where they're building the robots and they're like, beating up each other and stuff like that. So now the drones are like the next thing.
It is, yeah. And so we're trying to get on the
That's great.
forefront of offering those kinds of programs to students.
Excellent.
Jessica, when did you say that meeting at the high school is?
The meeting, it's going to be at the AK Smith Center, and it's Monday at 4:15.
So.
This Monday?
Yes, this Monday at 4:15.
That'll be the 13th, right?
Yes, the 13th at 4:15.
Excellent.
So yeah, that'll be great. So we're really looking forward to that. And I think private sponsorships, I think will work great for, the first camp, and we'll just go from there.
Sounds good.
Nice work.
Airport development, Paul, please.
Yes. In your packet, you've got the EFS agenda. I'm going to get one that I haven't written on up there. There we go. We have no action items this month, just reporting on project status. So right now, you have the one open grant. It still has a modest balance in there of $60,000, and that grant is for ALP and environmental. Once we get the ALP and environmental approved, we'll be able to finalize that and close that out. On the runway extension project, that first bullet point, we actually had some movement on that yesterday from Bob. Bob had reached out to me and asked to make sure that he had the most recent version of the environmental, and said that the Michigan City runway extension project is #1 on his list.
Yes.
To work on. So.
For the environmental, that's
Yeah,
great.
environmental. So he's moved that back to the top of the list.
Is that right?
The small victories, right?
Yes.
Baby steps, gotta keep moving forward.
That's right. And the ALP, we did revise that, so we're waiting on, that got turned around and back to Gary Wilson in October. We're waiting on Gary Wilson to comment now. So it's not holding up anything. We are continuing to move forward with offers on the property. As you know, I'll repeat a little bit for the benefit of the mayor. So we have had appraised values, appraisal, review appraisal, and offer out to the Tone and Blank folks, and had entered into negotiations on that, and we're in a good spot there. We need to go ahead and make an offer to the Olmsted folks, and that's on the other side of the railroad tracks. If you look up at that picture, it's that purple area. There's that purple area, and then there's a small little fee simple area that you really can't see on that scale of that picture. It's 0.2 acres that we need from Olmsted. So that purple area, we're not actually buying the ground, we're just buying the air rights over the ground to control height.
And it's that big forest after the fields right on the south, 20 runs through there.
South side.
Yep, and on the south side of 20, there's a big open field. Ton and Blank owns that property. And then beyond that, all the trees after the tracks, that's the Olmsted property. And they're the ones that do all the tree trimming, they log it and have that big development that they're planning over there.
Yeah, I suppose we could throw this back up here, it kind of shows. Jeff has a handy dandy pointer again. So this trapezoid right here is the runway protection. So the navigation easement that we're buying, or we're going to make an offer on, is this here. So that we can control the height of those trees or whatever else they might construct on the property in the future. So.
Now, that's a 20-to-1 ratio, is it? Is that right?
There's a threshold siding surface that's 20-to-1, the approach surface is 34-to-1.
30-to-1.
Yeah, so to give you an idea, it'll be around 25 feet at the railroad tracks, and it goes up to close to 60 feet in the back. So there's quite a bit of things that you could still do with the property underneath that navigation easement. So we have an appraisal in, that we've got the appraisal report. The board made a motion last time to proceed with offers there. So the attorney, Mr. Bill Nelson, intended to be here this evening. Unfortunately, he's had a medical emergency in his family, so he has drafted it. It's in my email here. I was reviewing it as we went through the meeting. So we'll be working on that, making sure we have all the paperwork proper, and we should have an offer out to the Homestead folks here by the end of the month. That's where we're at on that. The FA has committed to funding based on our appraised values right now. We submitted a pre-application to the FA, and we do have, it's a non-binding commitment right now, verbal for all practical purposes, but if everything goes according to plan, they will pay us for that land by the end of the fiscal year, which is in September. And then
And just for all of our capital projects out here, and we discussed it a little bit on the phone, but all of our projects out here are federally 90% funded by the federal. And then state funds between 2.5% and 5%. Some years it's 2.5%, it kind of fluctuates up to 5%. And then so our local match is between 5 and 7.5%. for all of our capital projects out here, just for Michigan City, that's our local match.
And, yeah, so we did have some movement on the pre-application with the FAA. This is new to the board. So if you recall, during the CIP meeting, they wanted to buy it as approach protection, not necessarily as part of the runway extension project. So we changed some of that wording. We had to revise our exhibits because we needed to justify the acquisition even if the runway extension didn't happen, which we do because as we've talked about in previous meetings, we've had to trim trees over on that property before. We don't have a formal easement now, so we basically just have to ask and they allow us to do it. But we've trimmed trees over there before. This will actually give us the legal right moving forward to trim trees in the future.
What if they just plain refused to trim the trees back down or?
Well, right now, yeah, we could be in trouble. You could potentially lose the night minimums because they're not obstruction lit. The trees on the north end, which actually ironically is on the agenda too, I'll tell you about that a little bit. But the trees on the north end have those red obstruction lights on there. So that allows you to have obstructions to the surface and still have night operations because they have lights on them. So that's where we're at on the runway extension project. And other areas of interest under miscellaneous, I did prepare a draft bid document procurement book for a pole barn maintenance building. We're not designing the building, so don't get concerned that you're paying us a bunch of money to design it. All we're doing is basically taking some parameters that Jessica had received in quotes before, putting it into a procurement book that meets the city procurement methods and the state statute for a project over $150,000. That's what this stack of paper is. And then kind of we're in the stage of actually fine tuning where the building's gonna go. We talked a little bit about it before the meeting. So we'll get that done and hopefully we can agree on where the building's gonna go. We'll have a bids in maybe February, at the latest March, if we can't get it done for the February meeting.
What's the number on that building?
Well, our budget number, just for the building, that site work is based on quotes that we'd received before at $170,000. So the site work, depending on where we put it, can vary. And then the last bullet point item, the trees on the north end came up again. This comes up every year. This one was a little bit more difficult because when the survey was submitted under the recently completed ALP survey, the obstruction towers were actually submitted by the surveying company as antennas and not as obstruction lights. So then the FAA thought, wow, you've got a whole bunch of stuff in the way of the runway. Antennas and trees. And so we were going through the process. It's not 100% resolved, but we have to explain that they're not antennas, they're actually obstruction towers, they're made there to mark the lights. It was the mitigation for not being able to clear the trees. And so we're going through that right now. I didn't hear anything from them today.
No, it's nothing.
There was some of that.
That's my wishes for them to take those lights out. Because when I'm coming in, I'm just always so worried that I'm gonna someday scrape any of those lights. Because I usually fly very low. And so I would
Well, don't do that.
gone.
Come in a little higher.
There's Pappy lights out there?
Yeah.
Show you
Come
lights?
in a little higher. Yeah.
I don't even know why we have those lights there. I'm so.
The FAA required them. We had to. We did not have a choice. We had to put them in. It was part of not doing the runway extension to the north. We're not allowed to trim those trees because it's there's the endangered sedge
Trim them,
plants.
we can't
can
get
trim
dry.
Yeah, we can't cut them
Yeah,
completely
right.
because,
Right, we
so.
can trim them, and we need to trim them. We need to maintain the trees below the 20 to 1 plane that the towers are marking.
Ooh.
And that's the whole point. right or wrong, the tower is marked a 20 to 1 plane so that when airplanes are flying at night, they're not surprised by a tree they can't see. That's the whole objective. I'm not saying it's a great idea. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we have to approve the CIP?
You approved it last month.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Did not, no.
No, we wanted to wait till January.
Yeah.
I didn't even bring it with me. But
Well, we all had it
We all got it
last
last month.
month.
Yeah.
Okay. We all reviewed it.
so yeah, if you could make a phone
What was that
motion.
amount again?
Let's see if I can go grab one. Let me go grab it. Yeah.
Also, any, do you think it'd be a good idea to run back up to the ADO Chicago, maybe, next month, 13th, on our next meeting date? Just have a,
The 13th, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, we can
just a show face.
try to get something scheduled for the 13th. You have a copy?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
So you're suggesting that because you're suggesting a pre-meeting?
I just want to let them know that we're still interested in this project. And
Yeah.
I just want them to see us. We go probably 2-3 times a year and give them updates and where we're at. And then we get to talk one-on-one with the individuals at the FAA that are in charge of like the approval of the ALP and the EA and all that. And
We do have a new project
we
manager
get
now.
we get to see them. And then, right, they have a big turnover. Their turnover rate's pretty high.
Right, Christina Sullivan's not your.
No, she's not gone. She's gone now.
She
We have a
is
new one.
now Kyle Dorf.
See, that's a new guy right there.
Right. And
How long was she there?
Oh,
Changes
2
so
years?
quickly.
1 year? Yeah, a year and a half, 2 maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
yeah, that's good, that's a good idea, Greg, we can schedule that. And I think it might be good timing with Bob, I think we do environmental
See that?
again.
Right.
Kyle, update on the land acquisition.
Check the schedule, see if the 13th works for you, if it works for me. That's the date of the next meeting. I thought it might be
You see
easier.
that?
Yeah,
Let me check with the FAA and see where we're at, but I'll make a note of it.
And we've all seen the CIP for 2021 to 2025. Anybody have any questions about it?
No.
We'll get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 2020 to 2025 CIP.
And I second that motion.
You second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Okay, old business. Any old business? New business. We have a legal services contract that our intention is to extend, if the board so desires, for another year with Graves, Nelson, and James.
Nothing's changed on the contract. Bill was gonna be here tonight to answer any questions, but he had a medical emergency in his family, so he couldn't come, so.
I would have no issues with that.
Did Amber put her input?
No, Amber, after we approve it, it goes to Amber and she signs
then
off on
she
it. too.
signs off on
Yeah,
it?
because there's no changes.
So we can just endorse, right?
Yeah, as long as you guys approve it, yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the legal services contract for 2020.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And claims stuff. So the claims docket, we just have Department of Waterworks, Waste Management of Indiana on here, and then we have some EFT payments. One from October, November, and December for Indiana Department of Revenue. That's our fuel in-tax that we pay. Every month I pay that. So we have 3 months that just need to get approved because they haven't been on a previous docket. So it's for $2,173.85.
Probably the lowest one we've had in 12 months. isn't it?
January is always really low because we're only allowed to pay, like water,
Makes you look
sewer.
good though.
Yeah.
Somebody take this today?
Yes, that'd be fine.
That's 9,
9.
right?
Yep. Thank you. Everybody, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims docket from $2,547.17.
Got a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Correspondence?
Done.
Public comment? Mayor?
Done. Glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and you're welcome, of course, anytime. And I'd love to hear from you, and you know, any inputs you have, concerns, anytime. Jessica, of course, is the person who
Really moving forward.
Thank you for coming out here, introducing yourself and meeting with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it.
I've already met Janet, and of course Chris. I know Chris. I told Janet if she needs anything, so give me a call. I can help her out.
We got a really good staff. And we got some good department heads. The city's gonna move forward.
Oh, I agree. I'm very excited.
Excellent.
That's awesome news.
All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Good job.
Thank you.
Got it?
Yep.